Hello, everyone, and welcome to Inspiring Best Living, where we talk about wealth creation, wellness, and well nourished soul. My name is Remi Wesley Ogude, and I'm your host. Today, I'll be focusing on wellness, and specifically, the topic is Stop Sickness So It Doesn't Stop You. The desire of every one of us is to be well and not to be sick. And before this can be our reality, definitely there are certain steps we need to all take. It is said that a good way to predict your future is to create it. You don't want to leave your health, your life to chance so that life does not chance you. We don't just want to be well today or are not to be sick. We also want to be well today and maintain that wellness as we journey in life. A lot of people aspire to have good health today and to nourish that health so that when they grow old, they will not be running helter skelter from one place to another for treatment. The reason is because health challenges or sickness generally could have serious consequences, some of which I will quickly discuss in this episode. The first one is that sickness separates people from their loved ones, especially when the nature of the sickness or when that sickness is infectious, contagious, that they can be close to people. Example of this is during COVID-19, when a lot of partners are separated from their spouses or parents are separated from their children because the affected people were quarantined and even some people lost their family members, unfortunately. So it has a way of separating people from their very close ones. And these ones are expected to be giving them emotional and physical support. But the irony of it is that it's the same sickness that separates them from those who should be nurturing them at this point in time. The second thing sickness does is that it drains people's income. If somebody is sick, number one, the person cannot go to work. So, God forbid, if the person does not even have a robust sick leave, the person will lose money from that. The other one is the person loses money because he will start spending on treatment, start visiting physicians and different, it has health cost implication. And because nobody would pray and say, I want to be sick, but it does happen. And because people have not prepared for it, as in giving aside or putting aside some fund for this, people go back into their emergency funds, which is actually meant to spend on other areas of life. And when we're talking about high interest rates, inflation, how hard that is on spending already, if somebody becomes sick, that can also bring a huge financial implication on that person and even the family at large. The third one is that sickness has huge implications on our social life. Sometimes it does not allow someone to benefit from socialization, especially the fun part of it. I've been in this situation. I remember when I was a lot younger and when my children were young, we used to explore different options of having fun activities. We'll go to different places, Wonderland, just to have fun. And I will be there looking at my family members, climbing trees and engaging in different fun activities that are too rigorous for me, just because I used to have asthma. And I was afraid that engaging in some of these activities could trigger the asthma that I used to have then. But I thank God today that He has delivered me. And as I'm talking to you now, I don't know what health struggle you are going through. That same God that delivered me and turned the tide for me will deliver you from any health challenge that you're going through at this time. So that's the third implication. And I want to quickly look at different approaches that people adopt in their wellness journey. I want to focus on three different categories of people and how they go about their wellness journey. The first category of people are people who I would say take their health for granted. They don't go for checkup annually because they are well, they feel well, they may be young, They don't go for screening. And if at all they do, maybe the members of their family encourage them to go, and they do, they don't follow up with results. They feel that since they are young and they are well, there's no reason. What they don't know is that sometimes if they don't take care of their body and thinking that the body will automatically take care of itself, this idea and mentality to me is wrong. Why? I can speak to it as a registered nurse. In science, there's something we call atrophy, atrophy, which is deterioration or decline of some body parts because they are underused. People have muscle atrophy. Their muscle may not be that healthy as they age just because they don't use it. Different parts of the body can also suffer the same, because if they are underused, they will not be able to optimize their function. That's why exercise is good to keep the body healthy. So even if you are young and you feel that you don't need to do things to improve your health just because you are feeling well, it does not mean that wellness will continue if you don't do things to enrich that wellness. The second category of people are people who, I say, give less attention to their body more than it requires. I will repeat it. What they do is that they have some health conditions which they should give more attention to, but the attention they are giving to it is less than that health conditions require. I'll give you an example. Somebody who has high blood pressure. I've been taught that high blood pressure, or hypertension as we call it, clinically, is a disease that sometimes does not present symptoms, is a silent killer. And somebody may be diagnosed for high blood pressure and may not feel the symptoms and may think it's fine. If such person continue without doing anything about it, the problem is that the condition may deteriorate. It could lead to other complex health challenges like diabetes, renal failure, and so on and so forth. So it's not something we want to think it will resolve itself. There will be steps we need to take, follow up with treatment to get healed from this. That's the second category of people. The third category of people are people who are very diligent. They take proactive steps to do screening just to be sure they are well, and also investigate if there's any abnormality in their body, and also follow up with whatever treatments that have been recommended. And this third place is where we ought to be. It's a place where people take responsibility for their health. I have been in the three different categories. I've been in category 1, where I didn't really take care of myself, where I will not even go for checkup until something happens. I've also been in the second category and the third. So I've been there at different times. And you may be listening to me thinking, how do I come from first to third, which is the place to be? Here are some tips I'd like to suggest to us in this episode. The first one is having and incorporating good meals, healthy meals, particularly vegetable and fruit, into our daily menu. I'm not saying we should not eat something else, but anything we are eating, let's ensure that they are healthy and they will nourish our body. The reason why I mentioned vegetable and fruit is because they are very good. They contain a lot of minerals that help to nurture our body, from our own personal experience and studies. So even when we're eating other things, let's ensure that on a daily basis, we had good amount of vegetable and fruit into our meal. The second one is exercise. And when I'm talking about exercise, I'm talking about different approaches to exercise, because a lot of things I get when I'm discussing these issues that people tell me or say that they don't have time because they are busy, their work, and the same excuse also that they give for not having time to prepare their meal. Some people who buy junk meals, they say the same. Oh, I don't have time to prepare. By the time I get home, I'm tired. I just order for food, restaurant, and this and that. It's not that ordering for food. I'm not saying it's always bad, depending on what you order and the ingredient. But being in control of the two, exercise and your meal, is very good. Creating the time. Not having time will not be good. Excuse of not having time will not be good reason why we should not. As Howard Wright said, excuses are lies that are wrapped up in reason. And I want to agree with this, even though I know it's not all of our excuses that are ingenuine. Sometimes we really are constrained, but we just have to do what is important. There are some things that are of high priority, and if we take our health to be something that takes priority over certain other things, we will have time to integrate this major component of health into our daily living. I'm talking about exercise and diet. I've talked about diet, and now I want to say one or two things or a few things on exercise, on how it can help us or how we can be more creative. Number one, if we don't always have time to go to gym, which I still also recommend, if we subscribe, even if it's twice or three times a week, it's good. But we can also do some other exercises that we don't have to be in gym. They also help, like walk. You can take time to walk, park your car a little distance away from the entrance of shopping mall when you're going to shop, a distance away from from the entrance of your workplace, so that between the time you walk where you park to your office, that's part of it. You can also explore climbing the stairs where it is feasible, like 2, 3 floors, instead of going on an elevator. Those are all the other ways of, integrating exercise. And if I'm somebody of faith like me, I do pray. Rather than sleeping on my bed, doing all the prayer, or lying on my bed, or sitting down doing the prayer, sometimes I walk around when I'm praying, and it also helps. And even if your neighborhood is also quiet, you can take a little prayer walk here and there to add more to the one you pray at home. By the time you add up, all this add up, and before you know it, in a day, you're also exercising, but you can be more intentional depending on how you're able to tolerate it. You can go out, either have a workplace gym that you're enrolling or a gym outside of work, depending on the nature of your work. The third one is sleep. It's very good to have enough sleep. If you are doing night work like I do and you don't always have the time to sleep, you can catch up on your sleep. Make sure that we are having at least between 6 to 8, depending on who we are. 6 to 8 hours in a day will be good. And like I said, depending on what kind of schedule we have on work. But the most important thing is that we should be conscious to improve on our sleep all the time. Make sure we are having adequate sleep. Other things we could do is hydrate properly, drink lots of water that is enough to nourish your skin, your body, and also you can expose yourself to sunlight. All of this will help. In today's episode, I've looked at different consequences of being sick. I've also looked at different approaches that people take. I looked at 3 different categories of people and their approaches to their wellness journey. I also suggested or provided and shared some tips on how we can actually improve on our wellness journey so that we can prevent preventable sickness. As I round up today, I want to remind us that this channel is to inspire us in 3 key areas of life: wealth creation, wellness, and how to have a well nourished soul. Remember, you don't have to choose between being wealthy and healthy. You can have both wealth and health, as icing on the cake of a well nourished soul. Thank you again for listening. My name is Remi Wesley Ogude. I'm your host, and I want you to please share the video with other people, your friends, your family, that you think the video can benefit. And please subscribe, press the notification button so that when I produce other episode, you can be notified right away. Take care and bye.